How did you incorporate the retreats? That's such an interesting one.
Yeah, the retreat was the very first thing I ever did with Beauty Boost before any event. I think everything has been also personally what I was looking for, what I think is fun. Back then, I literally could not find a single weekend retreat of any sort unless it was like a silent meditation one or like a $5,000 Sedona luxury getaway. That was the very first thing I ever put on, and I made $200. I was just ecstatic because I thought, I just didn't want to lose money. When you're immersed for a full weekend away from your norm, that's usually where like the most change can happen or most impact if that's what you're looking for. And we had, I think, 12 women at the time and just saw how amazing it was and how they left different than they had come in. So I was like, I'll always do this. We have anywhere from 2 to 4 retreats a year still. Literally almost the same thing. I've barely changed the pricing. They're always still under $500 Friday evening through Sunday. So still good if you're like a mom or whoever, just don't want to get away crazy amount of time, but still dip into what you need. I just think they're just so much different than just coming to a one-off event, even though those are great. So I still want to have it as a service that we offer.
That makes perfect sense. And I imagine some of the folks who are participating walk away with these really deep transformational experiences. I mean, we hear that for people just attending your events, let alone an entire weekend filled with multiple events. What are some of the things that you hear, like in terms of feedback from some of the women that are participating and coming on the retreats for you?
Everybody comes in very kind of nervous-ish. I always thought everybody would come with a group or a friend, but like 65% come solo. They don't know anybody, and this happens over and over again. And then some come. There was 2 groups, mom and daughter that just came in the last one with a sister-in-law, one with just a girlfriend. We always have attracted, no matter the age range. The age range went from like late 20s to early 60s. I think it's definitely more of a personality that we attract versus an age range, and it at the group always meshes. Like, never once have we had it in all 10 years of all the retreats we've done where it's been awkward. We do a good job at marketing to our target audience, and ultimately, the women leave saying, they just feel reset. They are going to implement certain aspects of the coaching. Or one girl just said how the workouts reinvigorated her to get back into checking out some classes in her area. I just think it's so rare for our society just to take time to themselves in general. Like, we think like a 1-hour boot camp class is the time for myself, but you're so kind of like heightened on the go. So it's just rare to even sit down to journal or any of the things that we offer and to be in a beautiful space with nature. I think in general, people are good. And I think women do want to uplift other women. So I think women are very surprised at how nice everybody is, how kind. They exchange numbers. We do like a closing circle at the very end on Sunday morning. And they all allude to some aspect of that when they talk about what their takeaway is going to be, about how they can't believe how amazing the women were. And they said they were desperately craving deep conversations, not just like talking to their kid or what's the weather, and that they got that retreat.
It's so impactful. Now, I know there's got to be a lot of work that goes into planning a retreat. What does
Yeah.
that look like for you and kind of leading up to one or your team that's helping you?
First, it's creating the experience that you want and deciding on the theme and what elements you want. But obviously, now I kind of have that down packed all the years. Then it's hiring the right people for each of those aspects: the coach, the chef, the retreat co lead, all the things. What craft are you doing? All that. Planning the menu, that's a big piece too. We bring in massage therapists as well as optional add-ons and things like that. So hiring your team, finding the lodge that works for all the needs you have, writing out the programming for workouts. So all the experiential pieces, honestly, packing my car takes like 2 days. Like, I am just in and out, getting the stuff ready. We do like quality goodie bag favors as a surprise and delight for everybody. So just even the logistics of getting all those items and all that, but also the marketing, like we've never not sold out a retreat. We sell out at whatever capacity the venue allows. So usually anywhere from 20 to 28 women, but obviously, we work very far backwards to do so, attracting the right person in terms of lifestyle, that's kind, not hoity-toity, is, kind of looking for all the services that we offer. So that is usually quite a bit of time as well. But then when you're at the retreat, like if you've ever ran an event, anybody, or helped greet at an event or anything, it's a lot of energy out that 2 hours. Well, a retreat, you are like, as a leader, at least for myself, I am never off. So I am always making sure next thing
Right.
happens, cleaning up, coming home. But I also am very fulfilled by them as well.
In terms of marketing and particularly finding the right person, because I think that's such a good insight. So often it's as a leader to say, okay, I have 20 spots. I've put out all this money to like pre-book everything. I need to get my 20 spots filled like ASAP. And as long as they have money in a heartbeat, that like works great. How have you been a little bit more intentional in your marketing to make sure that you're like bringing the right participant in?
Yeah. Well, that's a huge part of that 6-week course I did a long time ago with Marie Forleo. I still go back to so many pieces that she put out, but I would say it's kind of like, I think it's the most simple, kind of quote unquote dumb things that are the most effective things that sometimes we forget as business owners, but it's like the basics really work. So defining your target customer, like down to the nitty gritty. It can't just be like, we're here for women, that want to feel uplifted. No, it's very, very, very targeted on who we are speaking to and who she is. So knowing that and everything you do then goes back to your core person. Our weekend retreats are not like huge Instagrammable moments where it's curated, beautiful backdrop. There's a lot of beautiful things out there that I see on TikTok and Instagram. Like, "Oh, we should do this," but ours are just definitely more authentic and real. Like that's what we're going after for these, and more about the experience versus all the glam. And so that kind of goes back to who we're speaking to, our target audience for this. That's why the retreats are not $3,000. So just being really intentional on who you're trying to attract, and then making sure all your marketing speaks that, whether it's through every Facebook post or Instagram post or a flyer, or where is your core person? Are they on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? Maybe you're just focusing on LinkedIn and they're not on there. I remember that was also a big piece of Marie Forleo's training, was like, where is your target audience? What's she reading? What's she looking at? Is she listening to this right now? Like where is she? And then making sure that you hit up those places for your mark. So it's not just one thing, but that is like the most important piece.
Right. I imagine you finish those weekends up feeling fulfilled and exhausted.
Yeah.